Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. Are you mad? Are you mad? You're lean. Listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. For those of you who are returnees, you ain't got the minerals, baby. Listen, let's get into the video. You're mad? You're mad? You're lean. We're talking about Love Island, day number 8. First of all, I want to say this: Amy and Curtis, you guys do not own who gets to choose who they're going to be exclusive. I know you decided to make it your day. Let everybody know that you're exclusive, or half girlfriend, half boyfriend. You're 26, you're big age, you're saying half boyfriend, half girlfriend. We don't care. If Joe and Lucy want to say they're also exclusive, or Joe wants to tell Lucy that she is exclusive without her actually agreeing, then fine. Let them be. Ain't nobody stealing your thunder out here, my G. You know what I'm saying? Do you own... Second point, where does this power that Amy has suddenly got come from? She is not the alpha female in that house. She's just a person who's... I think the power comes from the fact that she's actually in a relationship with somebody. But once everybody else gets settled into their couples, this girl falls down the pecking order once again. And I know she's top of the roost because, you know, she's actually got somebody who cares for her and, you know, they're in a relationship kind of thing and no one else is at the moment. So they're kind of looking up to her. But as soon as everybody gets into their couples, they're not the power couple. Trust me, they are not. They're not close to. But whether they are the couple that the Love Island are pushing for, potentially. I mean, I personally have a vibe with Amber and actually and Michael as well. And we'll talk about that today as well. And we'll talk also about Tommy and my girl Molly-Mae. And we're going to talk about Danny and Yewande. So I'm going to start with Danny and Yewande. First things first. I actually didn't watch the whole of episode 7, but the clips that I watched in episode 7 was quite interesting. Number one, Danny and Yewande get along quite nicely. They have a nice flow, a nice kind of bouncing off each other. But I noticed very early on, his behavior with Yewande is completely different to Molly-Mae. Molly-Mae allows him to be able to get into her personal space. On the 2 occasions that Danny actually spoke to Molly-Mae, they were sitting on the couch by the fire, and Danny actually entered into her space. He was sitting next to her, but his arm was around her neck. And basically he brought his body into hers. So already there was an intimate physical reduction of the space between them, showing that he's comfortable and very much attracted to Molly-Mae, which makes sense because he said that's one of his types. Cool. And number 2 also, I believe also the second time was when he got into the bed and again was very comfortable. Eye contact was on 100, and that's another thing as well. His eye contact was very 100 with Molly-Mae, and you know, on both occasions, he never wore sunglasses. Why am I mentioning this? Is very, very important because what sunglasses actually do, they allow you to hide behind a veil of darkness and be able to perceive the reception of what someone else has given you. So if I'm talking to you and I have sunglasses on, you can't see my eyes, so you can't actually tell me that, you can't actually see the full truth of what I'm saying to you, but I can see what you're giving me. So it's always a one-way thing. You understand? And he never did that with Molly-Mae. Never had the sunglasses on because he wanted to show her his true self. But with Yewande, the first date, he's not going to put glasses on. We understand that. They're on a date, you know, and they got on very well. I believe he understands Yewande. He's a very smart game player, Danny. He's not a Tommy. Tommy is somebody who is like a juggernaut. He gets... I don't say juggernaut. He's the big uns. You know what I'm saying? He comes in, arms blazing, boom, 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 boom. Whereas, you know, we've got someone like Danny who's a bit more intelligent in the gameplay that he's playing. He tries to portray this gentleman, this nice guy, but he wants to get what he wants to get at the end of the day, and the gentleman's going to find a way to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? Cool. So what happens is, you see that he's on the dinner date, he speaks to Yewande, and he gets her on the intellectual level. And he's a very mature 21-year-old in terms of dating because he knows how to play the game. He's very smart. He's a good-looking guy too, and the way he held himself was very interesting because the way he played it with Yewande, he played the exact same with Amber, and Amber didn't bite. Now, I don't think he really wanted Amber anyway. I think he finds her attractive, but he sees the attitude that she brought to the table, which I'm going to come back to Amber as well, wasn't sufficient for what he wanted to do. So with Yewande, it was a cool vibe. She got the nice little funny little jokes and everything like that. Notice the second time when they actually talk as well, in episode 7 I'm talking about. So I'm not into my episode 7. He actually speaks to Yewande when they're eating some fruit. but again, doesn't really necessarily enter her physical space. Yewande has to come and find him at the kitchen. They start eating fruit. She jumps on the counter, but he never actually physically enters her physical space. He's got words of encouragement, words of affirmation. You know, telling her, listen, you got a sweet eye. I love your eyes. They shouldn't be any bigger. I love your smile. Like, do you know what I mean? And I can guarantee you, these are genuine compliments. These are genuine because it's much easier to give somebody a genuine compliment with an ill intention than it is to lie about something with ill intention. Do you get me? So he's telling the truth. Whatever he's saying about her, how good looking she is, if he finds her attractive, I guarantee that it's probably true. But his ill intention says that's not his final destination and goal. It is not to draw Yewande in. If it is to bring her in, it's for a safety net, because his first and foremost choice is not Yewande. Secondly, when he had a second conversation on the couch in episode 8, this particular episode we just watched, it's very, very important to watch his behavior. Now, they were both sitting on a beanbag. Now, when I'm having a one-to-one conversation with you, and it's a deep conversation with you, I don't care how hot it is or how blinding the sun is, yeah? You put your hand like this and talk to me if you need to, you know what I mean? You don't put sunglasses on. If you put sunglasses on, you are trying to assert your power in this particular conversation, because what it allows you to do is see the reaction of somebody else and see into their soul, but they can't see yours. And so therefore, it's almost like wearing a mask. It allows you to act in a certain way without actually being, how do you say it, without, like, if someone's acting on the stage with a mask, right? Like when I used to dance, sometimes I like the mask on because it allows me to hide behind the mask. You can't see my true face, do you know what I'm saying? And so it almost allows you to have this facade, right? That's why they say put on a mask. So with that mask, it gives you a bit of confidence. So that's what the glasses do. The glasses give you this confidence, and in that confidence, what it allows you to do then is to say what you need to say without tripping it up. So what he was actually saying, he was saying to you one day, you know what, I think, you know, I really like you, and I think the fact that you know, we've got a great connection. I've not had that connection with anybody just as yet, but you know what, and whenever I put a button there, it's a problem. But you know what, I need to find out what everyone else is saying. I need to get to know his early doors, blah blah blah. And it sounds like, oh, it's sensible, but trust me, it's not about being sensible. It's about the fact that he's not feeling it like that. That's why he's saying, I need to find out what other people are saying. You never heard him say to Molly-Mae, oh, I need to find out what's going on with other people. You never heard him say that, did you? You never heard him say that. What you did hear him say is, I need to get to know Molly-Mae. You never heard him say to Molly-Mae, well, I'm not going to say anything to you because I need to find out what other girls are saying. He never said that. He never said that. Why? Because his interest is not with Yewande. His interest is wherever he feels like it needs to be, which I believe is with Molly-Mae. So that for me was a big issue in terms of just watching their behavior and watching what they say. Yewande is obviously feeling him, and actually she goes to Michael to ask him like something. And I want to point out something. There's a conversation between Michael, I believe Michael, either Anton or Joe, with Danny, right? And they're sitting down on the couch, right? As Danny is explaining, like, look, do you know what, boys? You know, I like Yewande, but I'm just trying to see what everyone else is saying. Molly-Mae's a bit fancy. I like her a little bit, but you know, I don't really know her like too tough, rah rah rah. As he's speaking, if you can watch it again, watch Michael's face. He does not look at my guy's face. He keeps looking straight. Why? Because what he's hearing as a friend to Yewande is not positive. It makes me wonder though why he decides to give Yewande positive feedback when she asked him, okay, Michael, put him aside, what do you think about the situation? What do you feel about Danny? And he says, Danny's a nice guy, you lot vibing, da 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 da. And I'm wondering why. And I'm guessing maybe potentially Michael might have done that. Just gonna put it out there, potentially might have done that to not cock block himself. Why? Because they have a pact that if they don't get chosen, they will choose each other. If now, you know, Yewande doesn't get a guy, doesn't get Danny, potentially what could happen is that he may feel guilty for not saving her if she gets dumped out of the villa. Because they've already said they're going to have each other's back in episode 6, right? So maybe that's part of his thinking. The other part of his thinking may be that he didn't really hear or process what the guy Danny said at the time. But he was sitting right next to him and he was facing outwards, which means he was processing it. He just didn't like what he was hearing. And instead of challenging him, he decided to say, look, I'm just going to keep first of all like this. I'm not going to get involved. It's got nothing to do with me like that on that level, bruv. Do you get what I'm saying? That's for me. I mean, I believe that it's good to see that, you know, Yewande's getting that more quality time, time on TV. I don't know, I feel like Danny got told to take out Yewande and Amber, both, you know, Brownings, but never wanted any of the two. It's almost as if like he was trying to use Amber as a backup to make sure that it looked like he actually has a type that was black women. And obviously, we've heard the audio about Danny. It don't look too good. Do you get what I'm saying? Cool. Let's move on to Tommy and to Molly-Mae. Molly-Mae has obviously said Tommy's her type, Danny's her type, Anton's her type. Like, she's getting all the girls, and actually the girls are getting frustrated with her because they're saying who isn't her type, and they're saying obviously like, you know, she's already got 2 guys after her. Does she need more? Listen, it's a bloody game, ladies. Okay, don't hate on the game. I mean, don't hate on the player. Hate on the game. Okay, Molly-Mae's game is tight, yo. You know what I'm saying? She got these boys running after, like Michael said, she got these boys running after like a madman. You know what I'm saying? To the point where Danny actually came to ask, and I think this is Anton's is like this. Danny came to ask Molly-Mae, like, do you want a drink this morning? And she was like, peppermint tea. And then Anton was like, we can both get you a drink, but what, he really meant it though. Like, he weren't playing. Like, Anton's that kind of guy. Anton has really disappointed me. Like, I thought he's still a dark horse. Don't get twisted. He's still a dark horse, but he's almost too nice. I thought the prick was in him. I thought that guy who was bringing 2 girls home and everything like that was really about their life. And you cheat on every girl you have. That's an insecurity right there. That's a big boy insecurity because you're not showing no game right now, bruv. You know what I'm saying? When it came to Lucy, you didn't want to fight with Tommy. Now it's coming to Molly-Mae again. You kind of put a little bit of a fight up, but didn't want to go too hard. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's quite interesting something as well. I noticed something. Then episode 6, when Anton actually approached Tommy. To say, Tommy, look, hey, look, do you know what? I want to actually speak to Molly-Mae. Anton never looked into the eyes of Tommy. He kept on pacing up and down, and avoiding eye contact with Tommy. Why? Because it's almost as if, like, you know, when you watch, I remember watching Aladdin, and Jafar's like silently the evil type. He doesn't want to do it to your face. He does it behind your back. When you get them kind of evil villains that do stuff behind your back, those are the ones that are dangerous, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? That can't look you in the eye, but do things to you behind your back. So I found it quite interesting. The reason why I mention that is because of the way that he approached and the way that Danny approached. Now, when Danny was talking to Tommy, focus eye contact with Tommy. He's not afraid of Tommy. He doesn't consider Tommy to be the alpha above all alphas, whereas Anton considers Tommy to be this alpha dominatrix or whatever. I don't know. So it was interesting how the 2 of them contrasted. Danny, when he approached, he just kept the eye contact, kept it cool, just said, listen, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. Whereas Anton was like, bro, threatening the whole time. It's like, yo, bro, come on, man. Come on, man. What's interesting as well with Tommy and Molly is the fact that Molly mentioned the fact that, you know what, her and Tommy don't have serious conversation, and I think that was stated twice with Danny actually in her conversations. When they had a conversation, they stated it twice. So it was something that obviously was pressed on her mind. I don't know if she was saying it to Danny as to get him to think, to choose her. I'm not sure, but it was interesting the fact that she mentioned that about the serious conversation. It was something that's a big thing on her, I guess, on her list. And Tommy's not that kind of type. He's a kind of funny joker kind of person. Doesn't want to get too deep. Like, do you know what I mean? I just want to focus on what I need to focus on. I don't want to get too deep. So for me, it was interesting that she mentioned that, and it's interesting because when they had the conversation, he patterned up. Tommy patterned up and said, listen, look, yeah, I hear you. I want to have more serious conversations. And he tried to bring a serious conversation by saying how he felt, right? And for me, the thing about Tommy at the moment is that I feel like because he broke up his girlfriend before he came into the villa, I think that plays a part in his mind. I think that plays a part in his mind that he's trying to find a girl who will replace his girlfriend by, he wants someone to fall for him quick so that he can get the same benefits that he had with his girlfriend, which is that emotional care, the emotional stability, and the emotional ring fencing that his probably ex used to do for him to make him feel confident. It's like he said, he wants a girl that's going to come to the ring, who's going to celebrate him and say, listen, babe, you got this, blah, blah, blah. So he wants that emotional stability, that emotional care. He wants that woman that's going to be emotionally there, that woman that's going to be emotionally feeding him. But because obviously like his early doors, he can't demand that of a female because it's early doors. Can't demand it. So he's in a predicament. Catch-22. There's a scene which happened between Molly-Mae and Tommy. When Molly-Mae's talking to Anton, who's, by the way, friend-zoned himself every possible chance. When she's talking to Anton, saying obviously why her head is messed up, blah, 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 Tommy actually comes in and asks her, why is she messed up? And then she pauses and says, oh, have you made the bed yet? Deflection. So he hadn't made the thing or whatever, so he kept quiet. And then obviously she said what she said, and then obviously, yeah, the rest is history, they say. So in that instance with Tommy, she actually deflected and didn't answer his question. His question was very simple. why's your head spun? And she didn't answer it at all. If you watch the clip again, she never once answered the question. But yeah, I mean, moving on to Michael, I guess, and moving on to Michael and Amber. I think Amber, for me, she is somebody who doesn't want to get hurt. That's why she's so rude. That's why she keeps people standoffish. Amber's something else, man. You know what I mean? And for me, I feel like, you know what, she was playing a hard one to get because, like I said, she didn't want to be hurt. She didn't want someone to come and crush her feelings. But you know what, when she finally did it, you know what I'm saying, and actually allowed Michael in, it's a beautiful relationship. It's a beautiful start relationship. I think what's most important, obviously, is like, you know what, is being able to find common ground. And I feel like, obviously, Michael and Amber, they've done that a little bit. They found the common ground. They've been speaking, so obviously, when Michael then invites her up to have a chat, it's funny that he went to Joe for relationship advice, and people are always barring Joe. In fact, he even barred Joe Michael before and saying, obviously, I'm not Michael. So yeah, that got left behind. So yeah, that was one of the things that happened there. But yeah, when I went up to race, it was interesting because obviously, if you see their body language, like actually, Amber, number one, was giggling like a little girl. When she laughs, she actually puts her hand over her mouth. Again, it's consciousness. She actually changes her body position. So she actually sits across from him on a chair. Her legs are almost buried into the side of him, anyways, ribs. And she's real comfortable. And the reason why is because I say real comfortable in the sense of her position, but she was very nervous. Why is she nervous? Because, do you know what? She doesn't allow people to get, that's why she says she eats boys for breakfast. She doesn't allow men to get as close as this. She normally deads them off, or they get deaded off by themselves before this. But yet Michael has lasted the course of the term of the course, because obviously they're in an island, so he's not going to do a few months, and actually showed her that, look, you know what, I care for you. And obviously the kiss thing, that was obviously awkward because she hasn't kissed and she was imperfect. So Amber, you can see she's fretting because she tells the girls like, yo, like, what do I do here, what do I do there? You know, I believe that Amber hasn't probably been in that position many times where it could potentially come into a relationship, whereas maybe she probably experienced more things which come along with ending of sex. And so that's probably why she says what she said at the moment, you know. I feel like obviously, I feel like obviously as well, that with Michael and Amber, they're gonna grow, and they're gonna. It's almost like the Kaz and Josh situation. It's like two people who meet each other on a certain level, but obviously, obviously two people meet on a certain level. We just spoke on the Love Island review. Hope you liked what we did here. Like, share, subscribe, and make sure you ain't got the minerals, baby. I like what you do, man.